Thank you. To keep your comments coming, please populate the chat, put your questions there, raise your hand, put your comments there, because this is not meant to be a one-sided thing. We are doing the best we can using technology. However virtual it may be, we can still make it a lively discussion, and that's the idea. So this is not meant to be just a lecture, but a bit of an observation on what I have seen working with women leaders, throughout. So I'm going to introduce myself briefly now and a little more in detail later once the session ends. As you may see, this is the name of my company. It's a company registered. Hi, Saroj. So this is my company called Brand Partners. It's a consulting company registered in Sri Lanka, where we have lived for a number of years, a long time actually. But my work and my family does bring me to India very often. In fact, I'm here every second month. So yeah. So what I do is I look at all the performance related areas very briefly. I know you are all very senior people, so this would resonate with you. Everything in an organization comes from the efforts of the people, which we call performance, but not everybody performs in the same way. So we are here to look specifically at how we, that is women, who contribute so meaningfully and significantly to any organization, hold ourselves back when we are asking for a remuneration that's on par with the rest. And this is not about feminism, it's just about recognizing how we can up our game. So we call it navigating power dynamics. Interestingly, I just got this idea when I read an article on LinkedIn by the Sri Lanka country head of Unilever, who has talked about power dynamics and how when we talk of IQ and EQ, it's also necessary for leaders, regardless of their gender, to also know about corridor gossip and how to navigate power dynamics. True. So that's where it comes from. And of course, when you are doing very significant work, why not ask for the remuneration, or why hold back, right? That's the pitch. So going forward, let's start talking. And here I'm going to request Neha to help out, to help me know when you raise your hand or you have any comment which you post or any comments. So let's talk a little more about these few points and many more that you may have. Have you ever experienced that you have not been given your due in terms of remuneration? Yes or no? You can keep your comments coming on the chat. So we look at it, okay? Are there any pay gaps that you have experienced that are primarily because women have, or yourselves have not negotiated properly? I certainly have, so I'm guilty of that. I don't know about you, but please post your comments here. Why is it that we are able to negotiate, but very selectively? For instance, we negotiate about team. We want our team members to be given their dues. We want something, a leave maybe, we go and talk. So you will see negotiation here is not only about pay. It is a very important part, but it is also about negotiating day-to-day issues, conflicts. Sorry, did you want to say something?
No, I think it is
okay. Right. So why do we do negotiations selectively would be my next question. You have a sick child, you have priorities at home, you always want to negotiate and get your way. But then why do we hold back when it comes to money? There are certain innate qualities in women. We are known to be compassionate, empathic, soft-hearted, warm, friendly, etc. Does that hold us back from negotiations? When we want our dues, think about it. And the last point I want to bring in is it because of perceptions that we have or others have? Is it about a lack of conviction in asking for what we think we deserve? Is it about the multiple responsibilities which we are carrying out, but may not be very confident of multitasking? Or is it about the impact on the image that we have when we are negotiating and we are looked at as a hardcore negotiator? So I'll just give a pause here and let's see your comments. Mute them, please.
No, we'll see the comments. No? Have there anybody given a comment? No.
No comment.
No comments. All our ladies are very quiet.
That's the thing.
They are looking at you to motivate them, groom them, so they also have that kind of confidence and you know how to groom themselves to be so overconfident. That's what they're looking at.
Okay. Right, so we'll move on. If you have anything, please just raise your hand and we'll stop right there and then. So the fact is that all of these are correct, and these are from two studies, one done by Gallup, the other done by Harvard, which is dated 2020, when they designed a course on negotiation skills for women, right? So women do leave money on the table. Many of the gender pay gaps are not because of limited vision by the males, but it is because women do not know how to negotiate. We do negotiate selectively. Our innate qualities are so deeply ingrained that they condition us, and we feel that our image as a woman, whatever we think that is, will be impacted adversely if we start negotiating. So all of these are true. So that brings me to the next point, right? And here is a game I'd like to play with you. So here can we unmute all of them, please, right? Now, what I'm going to do here is, as soon as I call out each of these nouns or names, if it's left, just say, we are unmuting all of you, just say a quick left.
They can unmute themselves.
They can unmute themselves. All right, thank you. And if it's a right that you want to answer, so unmute yourself and say right. Okay, but we are going to go through this quickly because there are 4 columns. I hope I'm clear. Let me tell you again. This is a quick ice-breaking activity. So to ensure that you all talk and I get to hear your voice. When I call out husband, grandpa, uncle, boy, son, whatever, if it's a male, you say male, unmute yourself and say male. And if it's a female, say it's a female, right?
Okay.
So here we go. Husband.
Okay.
Male,
Male.
Grandpa.
Male.
male,
Male.
Boy.
Male.
male,
Son.
Male.
male,
Male.
female,
Female.
female,
Female. Lot of female.
Grandma.
female,
Female.
Wife.
female,
Female.
Female.
female,
Female.
Why they cannot be an it?
I'll come to that later. So now you must be thinking, what is action up to? It's so simple, isn't it? Now let's go the same way and look at the next column. Now, if it's liberal arts, and I say engineering, biology, say liberal arts or science, okay?
Okay.
So this was supposed to be left hand, right hand, but since we can't see you, we'll go with the liberal arts and science. So engineering, is it liberal arts or science?
Science.
Science.
Science. Arts.
art,
Chemistry. Science. Arts.
liberal arts,
Geography, English, humanities, physics, maths. Great. You are doing a wonderful job. Now let's go to the third one. Great. Now you have to say, if it's female liberal arts, you have to say that, or if it's male science, you have to say that. Is it music?
female liberal arts,
Female liberal arts.
Philosophy?
Female liberal arts.
Father?
Male science.
male,
History?
Female liberal arts.
Wife?
Female liberal arts.
Engineering?
male science,
Mother?
Female liberal arts.
Chemistry?
male science,
Science.
Physics? Son?
Male science.
Great. Did you see how quickly that went? And now comes the last one. Okay. So if it's if it's liberal arts male, or is it female science? Note, we are reversing it.
Yeah.
Okay, father.
Liberal art male.
Liberal arts mean
Liberal art male.
Okay, and interesting. Engineering,
female and
Liberal art.
Science.
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 music,
Art.
Art.
Arts male.
Liberal art male.
order,
Female
Female
science.
science. Female science.
Science.
Arts male.
maths,
Maths.
Female
Female
science.
science.
Female science.
female science. And earlier engineering was male. Okay, girl,
Female science.
Science.
literature,
Liberal art.
Liberal art male.
husband,
liberal arts
Male.
Liberal art
and
male.
physics.
Your screen is not moving.
Now look at this. These were all the lists. Typically what happens is, it's easy to say when you're talking of roles, husband, uncle, wife, grandma, daughter, male or female is very easy. Now when you start associating the roles with the background and subjects and careers, easily you said
इसमें डायरेक्ट
engineering.
इसमें आवाज आ रहा है आवाज नहीं आ रहा
Excuse me, can we?
है पैर होने के बाद में नहीं आ रहा है कनेक्टेड दिखा रहा है इसमें देखो
When we said, talked about the roles, husband, grandpa, son, mother, daughter, very easy to say male, female. When we associated the roles with what they do, arts or science, engineering, chemistry, physics, maths, all went to male. Note, music, literature, geography, English went to female. Please note, that's the conditioning. Now when we said, now come to the last one, where we said father engineering, everybody had to think a little. And that's exactly what we are talking about, because we ourselves are so conditioned and we have unconscious biases that we have not realized. So when we are holding ourselves back from negotiating, it's not only about pay, it's about an approach to life. It's about how we navigate relationships. It's about how we handle conflict. It's about how we go about a day-to-day life. Do I even think beyond the conditioning? Do I think about the conditioning basically, right? And that's what implicit bias is. Explicit bias is what we know, racism, discrimination, we all know about that. And that's usually deliberate. But implicit bias is never known. For example, I was with a group of people who are from, China. We went out to eat. She was given chopsticks. We were not. Now, what's that? That's implicit bias, right? We don't even know about it. The language that we use, right? Today, NDTV had a small article on how Kajol, the actress, was body shamed because of her dark skin and because she was plump. We don't even know that. So implicit bias comes from conditioning. What are we going through ourselves? Have we reflected? That would be my first tip. Ask for big pay for big jobs, but understand what is holding you back. Are you aware of your own inhibitions that come in the way before we say anything to the others? That was point number one. So we all are biased. And let's accept it. I'll just pause here for about a minute. If there is any question that you have, please raise your hand and we can unmute you to talk, or you post your comment on the chat. If you want, please feel free to take down any notes, that anything that comes to your mind, because this would be your takeaway. What comes in the way when you want to negotiate? That would be the point that I'm asking you to address yourself. If there's any comment you have or any question, please let us know. Post it on the chat if you're okay, and we can still address it. So you can unmute yourselves and talk, or you can post your comments on the chat. I'm moving forward, right?
Don't do anything.
So the second thing is that we all have to be proactive, right? This is not the time to wait for someone to say, pull you out. from
Excuse
behind.
me,
Yeah, sure, go ahead, please go ahead.
your skin is not completely properly visible. I mean, it is not getting fitted into. So some of the contents getting, I mean, you know,
Sure. You can't read?
Wait, I'm so sorry.
How do we?
Okay, you're
Now,
not able to see it, is that what you're saying?
little bit, yeah, now it's okay.
again, the screen was moving.
Again, it's once again, it gone to the, yeah. Now right side is, now
This
right.
will go off by itself. This will go off by itself.
Is the screen clear now?
Now, yes, now it is very much okay. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And thank you for letting us know. So the second thing is about being proactive. And we are responsible completely, end-to-end responsibility for what happens in our life rests on us, right? So there's nobody to blame. There's nobody to else whom we are going to depend on. Of course, you can always have mentors, but that's different. But being proactive about your own growth, about how you deserve the best and nothing but that. Therefore, I would recommend doing your own personal SWOT in a very objective way. Understand how to leverage your strengths. Understand how to align yourself to what is expected when you want to go up the corporate ladder or in your careers, right? And what comes in your way. We already talked of the biases. And then make it happen. Typically in an organization, when we do something well and we get promoted, when we get promoted, we think that's the basis because what we have done has got us here. But now we have to prepare ourselves for the next rung of the ladder and take on more responsibilities. So if we preemptively, in a futuristic way, are preparing to move up. So while I'm in grade 9, I'm looking at the university I want to go to and preparing myself for that important interview, right? So that's what I would mean. So it's SWOT, objectivity, all feedback that you would have received would also come in handy. There's no defense here, but it's a very honest, objective understanding of where you are and then trying to take action on that. So that was the first thing. The second one is standing up and standing out. What does that mean? Can I not make this go away, this part? The black one?
You can. The bar, yeah. And in fact, hide this also, hide the video now. So let them see the screen properly. There's not much that is happening. That's better. And the top bar, it's come back
You
again.
can see her, no? When she's
see her,
talking.
okay.
If you want to see her. No, leave the video on down.
Okay.
Let's come back.
Right. So I'm sorry, I'm still trying to struggle with this, but let's move on in the interest of time.
Yeah.
So here I'm going to ask you for your comments, but let me just explain what this is all about and what I mean by this. What does it mean to stand up for your conviction, for your merit, for your performance, and stand out, right? This one is standing up and standing out.
That's better.
So what does it mean? To be assertive. And I'm going to ask you for an example here. What does it mean to be assertive? And if you can either define it, describe it, or give an example. So we'll just pause here. Please unmute yourself and speak, or keep the comments coming in the chat. What does it mean to you to be assertive? You can define, describe, or give a brief example of how you have been assertive in a situation.
I think Sumita will give an example so that the rest can follow.
Sure.
Okay, so assertive is when you have, so you work in a very important report and it's got merit, but you have either a colleague
who is, the same level as you or someone senior, rubbishing a report or making nasty comments about it. But you know that it's correct, you have conviction in it, you've really worked hard and you know it's got merit, and then you stand up for it. So without being aggressive, but you keep, you ensure that they do not throw aside your work or belittle you or belittle your work, but you stand up for it. So that's, in my opinion, being assertive about your work.
Thanks, Sumita. So what you're saying is, and I'll just say it in Hindi as well,
Right.
that means कि आप aggressive नहीं है, आप गुस्से में नहीं बोल रही हैं, आप composed हैं, control कर सकती हैं अपने आप को, और आप समझ सकती हैं कि जो आपने किया है वो सही है, और उसके लिए, उस रीजन के लिए कि आपका स्टैंड ठीक है, आप सही हैं, कॉन्फिडेंस है आप में, उसकी वजह से आप आर्ग्यू कर सकती हैं, डिबेट कर सकती हैं, बट यू आर नॉट इन अ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट.
करेक्ट, आप कॉन्फ्लिक्ट नहीं कर रहे,
राइट, आप कॉन्फ्लिक्ट नहीं कर रहे. ग्रेट एग्जाम्पल. इज देयर एनीवन, अगर आप में से और कोई एक एग्जाम्पल देना चाहे?
It's like, yeah,
Could be putting your opinion clearly.
Exactly,
Yes,
very
yes,
good,
yes,
excellent.
and of course, formally.
Yeah.
Formally,
And
yes.
so in such a way that, people can listen to you.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because that's a more important thing जो आपने कहा, in such a way that people listen to you. नहीं तो हम लोग कभी-कभी ज्यादा गुस्से में बोलते हैं, तो no matter what you're saying, जितना भी आप कह रहे हैं, अगर वो सच है, सही है, तो भी, it's like कि नहीं, I don't want to listen to this kind of, emotionally intense talk.
Correct.
So you're absolutely right. Any other comment on that? Okay, so let's move on. I just want to bring in one perspective here. So
There are two comments.
please.
Could be putting your opinion clearly and fight for your rights.
Correct. Fight for your rights. So thank you so much, Neha. But instead of fight, I would say stand up for your rights. That's what it is. Fighting में थोड़ा सा aggression आ जाता है, before, without you realize it. But that's absolutely right. So I'll just give you a simple definition. Assertiveness is like a balance, right? Mutual respect. I respect myself as much as I respect you. If I respect you more, watch my hands if you can. So if I respect you more, I automatically become, a little complex. Everything is about you. Today, my friend, my neighbor, my family, my boss, my country. Country is very good. But everybody else is more important than me, right? And if I give myself more importance and respect, then obviously I'm not sensitive towards you, right? So assertiveness is based on mutual respect. And, and that is what we want, that everyone should be able to speak respectfully. And we have something coming up on that later when we talk about communication as well. Now, assertiveness in negotiation is always very good because we jump to assumptions and conclusions about the other person, right? Therefore, to understand calmly what is needed, what the other person is saying, and then be able to present our views, as you have said, firmly, respectfully, with sensitivity, and with full confidence, as Sumita said, that what I've done is right. That's what we're talking about in assertiveness. So thank you for those examples. What I am doing to be standing out, I have to be visible. How many of us are comfortable with visibility? It means taking credit for your work. It means highlighting what you're doing. It means showcasing your talent. Are we comfortable with that? Or are we the kind who will say, no, let my work speak for itself. How can I go about, praising myself? It's not that. It's not either this or that. But let me tell you, because we'll be talking about how you are your own brand. Let me just give you an example. आपके ऑफिस में कोई आता है, अगर आपका बहुत कोई important VIP या कोई important client आ रहे हैं, तो आप क्या करते हैं? आप उनको अपना स्टोर रूम दिखाते हैं, आप उनको अपना झाड़ू पोछे की जगह वो दिखाते हैं, कि आप उनको अपना जितनी भी आपने प्रेपरेशन की हो उससे भी ज्यादा करके थोड़ा डेकोरेशन करके आप उनको दिखाते हैं. Why? Because you're highlighting the best things. In the same way, हम अपने बारे में क्यों हम हिचकिचाते हैं? आप अपनी टीम मेंबर के लिए कर सकते हैं कि नहीं नहीं हमारे टीम मेंबर ने ऐसा किया, उनको क्रेडिट मिलना चाहिए, तो आप खुद के लिए क्यों नहीं कर सकते? So that visibility is important, not taking undue credit, not walking over others कि नहीं नहीं I am the boss और मेरी टीम ने किया तो क्या हुआ, मैंने किया है, which is partly true but partly untrue as well, because you are getting ahead of because of the team also. But basically being comfortable with praise, with compliments, and by showcasing your talent and your merit. That I mean by visibility. The most important part I will come to here, defining your desired professional image, but let me come here. So what do you do with your power moves? Do you have a strategy? This is my career growth strategy. This is my plan. गोल तो हमको सब लोग देते हैं. अगर हमने पूछा किसी से कि आप गोल सेटिंग करती हैं क्या? हाँ हाँ हाँ, वो हमारे फाइनेंशियल गोल है, 10 साल में घर बनाना है, 15 साल में बच्चे को पढ़ाना है, इस साल हमको बोनस से ये लेना है. We are not talking of just that. लाइफ बस 15-5 साल की नहीं है. आपके करियर में आपको क्या हासिल करना है और उसके लिए आपको क्या करना है, बिकॉज आपने काम किया, आपने बहुत ईमानदारी से और बहुत टैलेंट दिखा के काम किया और उसके लिए आपको विजिबिलिटी भी मिल गई, आपने असर्टिवनेस भी दिखा दिया. लेकिन आर यू वर्किंग हार्ड एंड स्मार्ट और आर यू ओनली वर्किंग हार्ड, राइट? So in my own life, I had made a huge transition from being a lecturer to the corporate world. I was really blessed to have a boss who I still call my boss. He's not, but he was my mentor. So he taught me all these things. लेकिन हर एक के पास ऐसा कोई boss और mentor नहीं होता. So when I was blessed with that, I tried to do that for my team. लेकिन अगर आपके पास नहीं है, लेकिन आपके पास कॉन्फिडेंस है, टैलेंट है, मेरिट है, क्रेडिट आपको मिल रहा है क्योंकि आपने बहुत कुछ हासिल किया है, तो आपकी स्ट्रैटेजी क्या है कि आप कैसे आगे बढ़ेंगे? उसके लिए आपकी विजन है क्या? एंड योर विजन मे इंक्लूड अ वेरी गुड वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस और शुड इंक्लूड. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको सिर्फ काम के लिए ही अपनी स्ट्रैटेजी बनाना है. इट्स अ स्ट्रैटेजी फॉर लाइफ, फॉर रिलेशनशिप्स. उसमें स्टेक होल्डर मैनेजमेंट भी है. आपके कौन से स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं? आपके सिर्फ क्लाइंट्स नहीं है. योर बॉस इज योर बिगेस्ट स्टेक होल्डर. बॉस के साथ अगर नहीं बनती, टीम के साथ नहीं बनती, इंटरनल आपके कस्टमर्स अगर आपके साथ नहीं है, तो फिर आपकी मैनेजमेंट स्टाइल में थोड़ा सा आपको फिर से रिव्यू करना पड़ेगा. हर एक चीज जो आप कर रहे हैं, नई भी क्यों ना हो, आर यू प्रोजेक्टिंग इनफ कॉन्फिडेंस इन दैट? And have you done your research before you go onto the negotiation table? What does the person want? What can I give? Where is the common meeting ground? बाकी के लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? कई बार, let me give you an example. कई बार हम अपनी कंपनी में या अपने ऑफिस में हम या अपनी टीम के लिए हम कुछ बहुत अच्छा करना चाहते हैं. We've either read about it somewhere, we have heard about it somewhere, कोई और कर रहा है, हमारे competitors कर रहे हैं, industry best practice है, और हम उसको अपनी कंपनी में लाना चाहते हैं. But how do I know it will work? Just getting that best example it may not work, right? So how will you make it work and make it convincing so that when you present it, it becomes a foolproof idea and a concept? And your stakeholder also understands and agrees that this में कुछ दम है, इनको पता है, they know what they are talking about, right? So these would be some power moves, not just for salary negotiation, but also about other things that you have to deal with. And last but not the least here, all this comes from a very simple thing. When I talked of vision here, it's linked to that. Can you define, I'll give you a minute here to take down any points that you might have or your comments. Can you define what your desired professional image should be? A lot of us have not. And this is again from a Harvard study. So many, many years ago, when I came across this concept, I've still found it to be true. We have changed the names. We used to then call it impression management, because आप से मिलके आप लोगों को क्या impression दे रही हैं या दे रहे हैं? Are you aware of it? What you're projecting? Is that what you want to be perceived as? And many times you're not aware of it. But am I able to define what my professional image will be? So we are going to stop here. Please unmute yourself and come up with any thoughts that come to your mind here. How do you want to be known as a professional?
Sharbila, what is your view?
Successful
Successful,
Professional.
and doing work where people look up to me and say, I would like, or somebody would like say, I want to follow in her footsteps.
A leader.
I would like to leave an image like that, a
Right.
leader.
a leader, right? And somebody people would like to work with,
Work with.
right? Okay.
No more, even as a mentor, somebody looks and says, I would like her to be my mentor. I know some things, but still I want a mentor.
Correct.
Yeah, I think something like that, very similar. I think I like to be looked upon as someone who's very, if I look at my stakeholders, like my management, I like them to look at me as someone trustworthy. So if you entrust something to Sumita, it will be delivered. When it comes to my team, I like them to look up to me and think of me as a mentor, someone who will stand up for them. With my customers, again, reliability, the best of service. So slight variation in my imaging as far as my stakeholders are concerned. But overall, I think what the image I would like to leave in everyone's mind is she can deliver and she delivers. So that's what I think my tagline is.
Brilliant. You want to add anything?
Neha?
No, at the moment.
Okay, anybody there? Who's there? Who wants to speak?
A good team, a leader, a mentor, a leader, a successful person. So
Who
we
is
have
this giving this
this
comment?
Saroj Jadhav.
Okay.
She has
Excellent.
given the comment.
Excellent. Thank you, Saroj. That's one comment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because most of them have not put their names, so I'm not able to recognize. them.
Okay.
But they are giving the answer.
They are giving the answer. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. So this is the basic thing. If we define what our desired professional image is, we try to live up to that, right? Otherwise, so I want to be known as hardworking. I want popularity. I want to be respected. But I'm very tired and I don't want to, get involved. I'm not able to speak my mind at meetings. So I'm not giving a very professional image. And I'm not giving the confidence to other people around me of what I'm capable of, right? So that's how we have to align all of this together. Moving forward, when you are with the clients or with the stakeholders or your management and you're negotiating with them, communication skills are very, very important. Speak their language. What do I mean by this? Now, this side is very basic and yet we forget it. I'm just dealing with a lady client because I also work as an intercultural consultant, facilitating people from different countries to work together. So usme abhi I'm working with a lady whose boss is half American and half Irish. And probably his first experience in working in a multicultural environment. So he doesn't know how to behave, he doesn't know how to talk. Both are adamant and stuck at their viewpoints. She's getting frustrated, he's not understanding, he's getting frustrated because he feels she's not communicating in meetings the way he wants, right? So when we say speak their language, it's literally, who is your audience? किससे आप बातें कर रहे हैं? आपके team members हैं, internal negotiation उनसे कुछ करना है, pay may not be increased पर काम बढ़ने वाला है. Is it your management where you're going to talk to about some important issues? Is it your own performance appraisal where you are asking for something which is a higher, salary range? What is it? So who is your audience? Is there any decision-making and visible power over there? A very important thing. कई बार आप कई सीनियर्स से मिलने जाते हैं, कोई और भी लोग वहाँ पे मीटिंग में बैठे रहते हैं, कोई कमिटी मेंबर्स होंगे, कोई बोर्ड मेंबर्स भी कभी-कभी हो सकते हैं या मैनेजमेंट के हो सकते हैं. उसमें विजिबल पावर किसके पास है और हिडन पावर किसके पास है, राइट? और डिसीजन मेकिंग किसके पास है और कौन पॉलिटिकल हो सकता है. So you have to pick your time, you have to pick your pitch, you have to then decide how much to say and when and what. कई बार ऐसा होता है कि if we are uncomfortable about something which I have to negotiate about, right? I myself am so worked up कि हम चाहते हैं कि जितनी जल्दी है वो खत्म हो जाए.
और हम वहां से बाहर बाहर निकले, छुटकारा मिले, एक बार बात बोल दी हो गया. So in that haste and in that emotional state of anxiety, nervousness, we forget कि हम किससे बात कर रहे हैं. बस हमको जो बोलना है जल्दी से बोल के खत्म हो जाता है. But there is a lot more at stake. If we want, because हम हर चीज जो communication में है, every aspect of communication has a purpose. We speak to be heard. We listen to understand. We negotiate to come to an understanding and agreement. So who is the audience? Where is the power? Is it hidden? Is it visible? And are there any other biases that people may have there? Right? I have experienced this a lot when I work with organizations across levels. Management is sitting on the top of a hill. उनके नीचे जो लोग हैं उनके पास थोड़ी व्यू थोड़ी अलग होती है, और अगर आप टीम से मिलने गए तो उनकी व्यू तो एकदम ही अलग. So how do you merge and align all of this together, right? And with this understanding, like you would when you're launching a product, आपको complete marketplace की जानकारी है. If you're going to speak to an audience, आपको उनके बारे में पता है. Then what happens is you start preparing yourself for that in a very planned and structured way, right? So in that, you manage yourself with awareness and with regulation. I'm just going to come to that. But two important things, if you look at this, how do you prepare yourself? One is what you want to say, but also what they are interested in. And that is what we call the WIFM principle. What is in it for me? अब जब भी किसी से बात कर रहे हैं वो यही सोच रहा है क्यों हम इनकी बातें सुने. आपने भी सोचा होगा जब आपको यहाँ का इनवाइट मिला होगा तो what is in it for me? Correct. तो क्या मिलने वाला है, कौन सी नई बात है, right? Same way आप जिससे बातें करते हैं वो भी यही सोचेंगे इन्होंने half an hour मांगा है उसमें क्या होने वाला है. Then you start talking, हमने 2 साल में ये किया, पिछले साल ये किया. They're thinking, okay, good for you if you did it. What is in it for me? Why are you telling me all this? So this is a very good way to align, bring in relevance. You are saying what they are interested in. By no means am I talking about flattery. I'm not saying कि आपको उनकी खुशामद करना है या उनको जो अच्छा लगे वही कहना है. No. You're speaking the language. For example, I've been in HR for a long, long time. When I'm going to meet the management, I have to speak their language like a P&L. I can't say only talk about people-related issues, but I have to talk about the impact of those issues on revenue generation, on business, right? On skill shortage, which will ultimately impact the results. So speak the language. And ultimately, prepare yourself for the best and the worst case scenario. What can be the best alternative? सब मिल गया तो मिल गया, उसमें कोई problem ही नहीं है. नहीं मिला, तो what is the bare minimum that you're prepared to accept? And if you can't be prepared to say, let's agree to disagree and let's close this discussion and revive it later. But don't end it on a confrontational note, right? So to manage yourself with awareness and regulation, sorry. I'm going to suggest 2 things which have worked a lot for me. Sorry. Right? The first thing to be aware of are your thoughts. What am I thinking? Usually when we are going in for a very tough discussion, let's call it a negotiation. हमारे मन में क्या क्या चल रहा होता है. Let's just stop here. आप chat से या अपने को unmute करके बताइए कि आपके मन में क्या चल रहा होता है. Take the most recent discussion you would have had. आपके मन में क्या चल रहा था? Just very brief answers. Were you nervous? Were you anxious? Were you comfortable? Were you happy? What was going on in your mind? Were you worried? Were you stressed? It was a combination of all of it, including some excitement if you're looking forward to something, and you can kind of navigate the meeting towards the direction of your thinking. But yes, definitely, if you're going in for a big negotiation, a lot of it is anxiety because you've worked so hard to come till that point, so you want it to go well. And yeah, I think I agree with you. If you go with a positive attitude, nothing like it. Yeah. You want to say anything you would like to add?
Same.
Yeah, for a big meeting when you go.
Nervous. The
Nervous.
first thing we are is nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start feeling nervous and anxious. So here is one.
Anxious is the right word.
Anxious.
Anxious, absolutely. Thank you. And the anxiousness gets to you, right? So here is something that our thoughts and feelings go together. They lead us to an action. Action gets us a result. Okay? I'll give you a very, very stupid, unrelated example, but which troubled me for the longest time that I can remember. In school, everyone has elocution competitions and debates.
Correct.
I must have been in standard 7.
Okay.
I went up on stage to recite a poem, you know, like you have to hold your hands like that, you have to bow down. I did all that, and the moment I picked up my head and looked straight ahead, I saw my brother's friend standing behind and he winked at me.
Oh, okay.
And I forgot everything and I came down in tears. And after that, I was terrified of going up on the stage again for the longest time, right? So our thoughts and emotions go together. They lead us to an action. And like you said, if you are able to manage the anxiety, anxiousness, and nervousness, then you have presence of mind. That is the regulation, right?
Yeah.
So
Sometimes whenever I'm scared or whenever I'm talking to you, I'm not able to say anything. What I do, I look at their forehead.
Okay.
I don't want to see
Look at the
their eyes. That's what I do usually. I don't look, I'm looking at you, but I'm looking at your forehead and I'm seeing it too. So it helps me like that. That's my way.
So it's called fake it till you make it.
I can say, but it works sometimes.
In fact, I'll give you an example. If I'm going for a very important meeting and because of traffic jam, if my car is not able to make it on time and it's a customer meeting, then you obviously get anxious about that, right? So what do I do? Because if I go with the anxious look on my face, I'll never crack the meeting.
correct.
So I'm known for my selfies, and today I'll give you a reason. If any of you all are with me on any social media, I'm known for my selfies. I take selfies actually to calm my nerve. Because my attention then doesn't look, by looking at the signal or looking at the GPS, the car will not move faster. But if I take selfies and maybe I'm cycling, whatever, I try to get a good selfie. And before I know I'm at the meeting, I'm in a good frame of mind because I've taken a good selfie. And even if I'm 5-10 minutes late, people in Bombay accept it, you know, customers. And then I go and make a positive and a pleasant experience. But if I go with anxiety, as you rightly said, what you think is how you speak, then I'll come across so anxious that my customer meeting will definitely go bad.
Right, absolutely.
So, and
Did
any
you feel anxiety today when you came in late?
Exactly.
You have a live example, you know?
true.
Okay, I come here now, you cool down, you say, well, it's only ladies, so I don't have to worry. I don't have to impress anybody. So that's a good example that we have one of your.
So as you can see, we're having a lot of fun here.
Next time girls come over.
Absolutely, and don't miss the lovely food.
Food, yeah. Okay.
So now the thoughts, since the thoughts are important, because we are, whether we realize it or not, हमारे दिमाग में खुद से बातें हो रही हैं. Our thoughts are like that, right? And what we think about impacts us. So try talking to yourself, saying, you know, you remember all is well, all is well. Correct?
Correct.
Similar thing. So keep on talking to yourself, giving your mind very positive suggestions, because what you put after the words I am make the world of difference. So be aware of your thoughts and try to frame them positively, right? The next thing is to be aware of your emotions. How do you be aware? How do you become aware of your emotions? I have a very simple way. There are many theories about emotional intelligence. A lot of them I teach, but this is by far the simplest way. बच्चे भी कर सकते हैं. So no matter what emotions you feel, they are usually in these 4 categories. Either you're happy and glad, or you're sad, or you're mad and very angry, or you're scared. Now note, scared and glad, sad and mad usually get linked. If you're scared, you can become mad very easily. Okay? So I'm worried, but somebody tells me, stop it, don't be worried, be calm. I am calm. You know, the moment my voice, it's showing that I'm getting mad because I'm trying to be defensive and I'm trying to cover up my feelings so that nobody can see it. But the problem is, world can see it. My actions speak louder than my words. So when we are aware of how we are feeling, the other thing to be a very good tip is to just see, if I were to rate it on a scale of 1 to 5, what would be the intensity level? Let me just explain this. इसको हम एक इमोशनल थर्मोमीटर कहते हैं. हर एक के पास घर में थर्मोमीटर होता है, भगवान करे जरूरत नहीं पड़े, बट आपको यूज करने की, लेकिन थर्मामीटर होता है और हमें सबको पता है कि 99.9 से टेम्परेचर शुरू हो जाता है। लेकिन कोई लोग होते हैं जैसे कि 101 टेम्परेचर में भी वो काम कर सकते हैं, घर में काम घूम सकते हैं, और कोई है कि जैसे बुखार चढ़ा कि वो चादर ओढ़ के उनको सोना जरूरी है। तो वी नो आवर थ्रेशोल्ड, हमारी लिमिट क्या है। सिमिलरली जब हम इमोशंस को मैनेज करने की बात करते हैं तो देयर इज समथिंग वेरी यूजफुल व्हिच वी कॉल एन इमोशनल थर्मामीटर। अगर आप खुश हैं और आप 5 पे हैं विच इज द टॉप, तो भी आपको दिक्कत हो सकती है मीटिंग में बैठने की, बिकॉज यू विल बी हाइपर एनर्जी। बट सपोजिंग यू आर वेरी मैड और यू आर वेरी स्कैर्ड और आप 4 से ऊपर जा रहे हैं या 3.5 से आप ऊपर जा रहे हैं, दैट्स द टाइम टू टेक कंट्रोल एंड डू समथिंग, नहीं तो यू विल हैव एन इमोशनल हाईजैक और उसके बाद आपको जो चाहिए वो आप नहीं कर पाए, राइट? सो टू बी able to have successful negotiations, I beg your pardon, managing self is very important. Be aware of your thoughts and feelings and then manage them by knowing what you're feeling and how intense it is, right? Finally, we come to, so what is it that you are going for? Now, आपने सारी तैयारी कर ली, now you're ready and you're going in for the negotiation that is important to you. भले सैलरी के बारे में हो, which is what we started off with, big pay and big ask, or it is something else which is very important to you. आपको एक कुछ प्रमोशन चाहिए, आपको कोई बहुत अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी आपके दूसरे ऑफिस में कहीं दूर आई है, ओवरसीज असाइनमेंट है जहां आपको जाना है, all these are very important, right? या आपको और भी फ्लेक्सी टाइम बढ़ाना है, whatever the negotiation is about. So first is your preparation. If you have heard of Forbes magazine, उनके experts ये भी कहते हैं कि for tough discussions actually write down what is it that the other person want, what is it you want, where is the common ground, और उसके बाद आप क्या कहेंगी, have the points ready, refer to them so that you make it relevant, you bring in a context, और आप इधर उधर you don't go on talking about everything under the sun, but you just speak to the point. So preparation is very important. Have positive thought, be aware of yourself and have a structure. This is the more important part now. Communicate value. You know, those who have sales backgrounds will know the difference. Don't describe the product. Talk about the value of it. आपने क्या किया है, आप क्या है, उससे ज्यादा आप ये काम करके आप उसमें कितनी वैल्यू आप ऐड कर सकती हैं, that will be more important. What will be the benefit to the other person to accept your proposition? Why can't we do it like this? Why should we do it like this? Why should we make this investment? Why should I give you that promotion? उसमें आपका उनका क्या फायदा होगा? What is in it for them? So you are communicating the value. You are communicating your worth because by now you are clear about your professional image. You are calm and composed. You have prepared for the meeting and the negotiation. So you are able to talk with confidence. तो उसको देख के जैसे आपने कई इंटरव्यूज दिए होंगे, आपने कई इंटरव्यूज लिए होंगे, उसमें आप कैसे डिसाइड करते हैं कि ये कोई सही है इस रोल के लिए और इससे अच्छा हम इनको ट्राई कर सकते हैं, राइट? So you are communicating the value and your worth of what you will be capable of doing. Negotiation में हमेशा कहा जाता है, ask for more than salary. Salary is an important part, but you can actually try to negotiate for a lot more in terms of facilities, in terms of environment, in terms of opportunity, in terms of working arrangement, in terms of team strength. You can ask for a lot more. So don't just stick to salary because that can be very limiting. Also, one thing I've noticed is if we have not done enough research about the market dynamics or competitive, salary scales that others have, and we think, nahi, humko aaj itna hi chahiye, like, right? I need an X amount as salary. Maybe if I had been patient and prepared and communicated well, maybe the organization would have been prepared to give me more, right? And don't skip the small talk. Depending on who is your audience, are you able to make conversation with them which show them
other aspects of your character. This is not just social conversation. I'm saying, do they look at you as a well-balanced, well-informed, rounded personality who is able to talk confidently about other subjects? ऐसा नहीं कि हम अपनी ही इंडस्ट्री की बात कर रहे हैं, अपनी ही बिजनेस की बात कर रहे हैं, अपने ही काम के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं कि दूसरे डिपार्टमेंट में क्या चल रहा है हमें नहीं पता है. So in the small talk that you have, you can prepare yourself to showcase all of that too, which is not strictly in the negotiation always. Finally, when you listen to understand, you are bringing in a balance in your approach. And what are you balancing? Your competence and skill along with your warm, approachable nature. Expertise and approachability. So that goes with the warmth. Efficiency and sincerity. Why I say this is a lot of times, you know, people have leaders, but leaders also need to have people with them to be who support them. हर एक अगर लीडर बनेगा आपकी टीम में भी तो you know काम ज्यादा दिन नहीं चलेगा, because no, people need to work with them, people need to support them. Therefore people appreciate आजकल के जमाने में talent, skill, expertise is what gets you in. अगर वो नहीं है तो एंट्री नहीं है. लेकिन आपने एक एंट्री अगर आपको मिल गई, उसके बाद में what counts are your personality skills, getting along with other skills, ability to manage change skills, innovative thinking skills, conflict management skills, negotiation skills, because the organization starts looking at you as from an angle कि अगर ये हमारे साथ काम करेंगे और इस रोल में काम करेंगे तो ये क्या हमको दे सकते हैं, इससे हमारा क्या फायदा होगा, इससे क्या ये ऑफर करेंगे, इसकी क्या वैल्यू ऐड होगी. So try and look for that balance of competence and warmth, efficiency and sincerity, expertise and approachability, right? I'm almost at the end of the talk. If there's anything you have to comment or ask, I will wait. Otherwise, we'll sum up, and then I would just like to talk briefly about my work and my company. Too much, just a little bit, yeah. Little bit about your company.
Yeah, I just wait to summarize.
Yeah. Did you find any of this useful? Please put your comments in chat with you can just put a yeah, why if, or a check mark, or you can even say no. And if you found something missing, please tell us what was missing so that we make sure we address it next time. Please unmute yourself. Like to hear some voices. Shall we? Yeah, it's all vegetarian, yeah. Can we see everyone's face? Can you all put on your videos? Yeah, can we have your videos on, please? We can unshare this. No, we can unshare. The presentation is over, actually. Yeah, okay. So, okay, yeah. Nice to see you. Correct. Hi, all of you all. Good to see everyone. You can unmute yourself if you're not in a very noisy place. So we can.
Most of them are in the office. You miss having all of you here physically, Brunner. Why did you not come?
I had something else happening and it would never have made it to that part of the world. Then anxiousness would have taken
to another place next time.
Another part of world.
Another part of the world.
Not reaching on time would have gotten me anxious.
Good one, yeah. Okay. So I hope you all found it useful. We have very little time left, so I won't, if you please keep your comments coming on the chat. Lovely to talk to you all here. What I'd like to say is, let me put this down. So my company is called Brand Partners. I work as a performance coach. I basically work with organizations and communities and individuals, covering a whole lot of life skills, psychometrics, coaching. I help organizations set up their training teams.
design content, facilitate the workshops, basically. So I'm happy to, if any of you would like to connect with me, this is my email, this is my LinkedIn profile, and this is my company link. So thank you very much for your
Archana, a
time.
quick one, when you say holistic healing modalities.
Yeah.
What exactly is that?
Right, that's a whole lot of
Ladies.
jargon. Holistic healing is that where do I start? So we all have, we are driven by something, right? And that energy comes from somewhere.
Okay.
In holistic healing, we believe that energy comes from your core inside, what you are, and your thoughts and emotions drive your internal energy, which keeps you healthy, fit, and then externally able to deliver whatever you're doing in performance. So we believe in the holistic healing in the chakra system. So you balance your chakras. That also reflects in physical health and issues in your life, whether it's relationships or stress or conflict, or you're stuck in a situation.
So we are going to be very bad people, and we would like you to do a next session on holistic healing. What do you say, ladies?
What do you say,
With
holistic
pleasure.
healing?
You know, when she says you have some chakras and she teaches us how to get that stress buster in our personal lives, our personalities and everything going.
Aligning the chakras,
Chakras,
basically, right?
Interesting to know.
That would be
Yeah,
nice.
Very interesting topic. I always thought yoga was the main thing to sort this out. But this sounds another HHM kind of a thing. So when you are next free, if the ladies want me to, we will have this next session of holistic healing, where we'll have a physical one, virtual one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not, we'll have a hybrid. We don't want a virtual because you'll not be able to learn what you want to teach us.
Yeah, correct. Maybe in the month of Jan or something,
Yeah.
during a good season.
So
then
I've been after COVID, earlier, when we talked of emotions, when I was in Wipro in my long stint with them, when I was a part of a merger, and I went back and told my boss, and he said, what's happening with the new lot? I said, they're very stressed. He said, tell them they have no business to be here because they're stressed, everyone like stress is a part of life. But post-COVID, everybody is talking about mental health and emotions and, being a state of
I think so.
wellness.
What do you say, ladies? Is that sounds an interesting topic for our next physical
Yes.
meet? Huh?
Yes, it is.
All of us learn holistic healing kind of a thing, learn from Archana.
Yes.
And we'd love to have you back for doing this for us,
Thank you. My pleasure.
And I like to mention to women who, who are from HR professional, if you want to have Archana's,
Any
speak
advice?
to or speak to your company. So I think she's given her email address, or you can reach out to me on the WhatsApp chat or whatever, I can share it. Because Archana is doing this for us pro bono, that means she's not charging us at all for this. So in case a company is looking for someone to speak to them, Archana's services are available. Of course, when it comes to a company, to come at a fee. But she's doing it free.
You can see the chats. There are a lot of comments.
A lot of comments are there. Okay. You can see the charts. Just see the charts. Directly scroll down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're thanking you,
That's
motivating you. Yeah.
No.
Someone from Team Global, Swati is there, and okay.
How nice. Everyone's taken such an active part. Thank you, ladies. We're so happy.
Yes.
That all of you, even if you could not come, we missed not having you here. It would have been fun to have all of you here.
Correct.
Thank you all for your
Lovely
comments. And others, even though you are silent, I do hope it helped you all. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
All right.
Thank you,
Archana. Thank you, girls.
Anybody want to
Thank
say
you.
anything before we log off?
Thank you very much, Archana. It was really nice.
Thank you so
having
much.
you
Thank
here.
you. Thank you, Archana ma'am. Thank you.
Nice,
Very nice.
so nice.
How nice. Very
Thank you.
nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, girls.
Bye.
Thanks, Sharmila.
Bye. 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 Bye, Ronald. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
We will get someone to come and take a picture of us. Diksha, or done there. That's done. We can.
Miss having all of you here.
Yeah.
You know.
All the new faces.